Okay, calculus kids. So we're still going to be working on alternating series, but there are two things you need to know about alternating series. Okay, the first one is going to be the type of convergence, and then I'm going to teach you error bound. Okay, so this is just absolute versus, okay, conditional convergence. So first I'm going to explain what this is, and then we'll actually do some examples, all right? So before I get symbolic with you, absolute is absolute value. So if something converges absolutely, okay, it means that the series, I don't like something. Let me change that to if the series, I don't know if this shows up me erasing. I don't think so. I think you guys just see it after I'm done. All right. If the series converges absolutely, it means that the series converges regardless of the alternator, of the presence of the alternator. Okay, so in other words, let's say you have a series -1 to the n, right, times some positive series. What this is saying is that if a of n, so if you get rid of the alternator and you do a test for a positive series, so if this converges, then the series -1 to the n, a sub n, converges absolutely. Okay, and that just means that it converges whether or not you have the alternator present or absent. Okay, now, conditionally convergent. If the series converges conditionally, okay, sorry, I had to pause it, my son was coming down. If the series converges conditionally, that means that the series converges only with the alternator present. Okay, so in other words, if you have this series, right, you have some alternating series, okay, and you get rid of the alternator, you see that this positive series diverges, but then when you do the alternating series test, the series converges, okay, we say that it converges conditionally, because it converges, the convergence is conditional upon the presence of the alternator. All right, let's take a look at a couple of examples. Okay, so the most famous one that we're going to look at is the harmonic series versus the alternating harmonic series. All right, so I wrote down the two series for you to remind you of what they are. You should copy them again because it's extremely useful. All right, it's just, it's a good nerd fact that you want to know. All right, and I can say that because it takes one to know one. So remember that the harmonic series diverges because, okay, the value of P is 1, which is, of course, less than or equal to 1. So the series 1 over n, as we know, diverges by the P series test. But you can memorize the harmonic series. Now, for the alternating harmonic series, what we would say is the limit, right, as n goes to infinity of 1 over n is 0. That's the first thing you need. You need the limit to be 0 with the absence of the alternator. Then the terms are decreasing in magnitude. Their absolute values are decreasing in magnitude, which is true. Okay, so therefore, the series, the alternating series, converges by the alternating series test. Okay, so what kind of convergence is this? What we have is we have the series on the right converging, but the series on the left is not converging. So when the series, when we take the absolute value of the series, right, we can see that the series does not converge. So it does not converge absolutely. What we would say instead is, therefore, okay, this series negative 1 to the n plus 1 over n converges conditionally. And that means it's conditional upon the presence of the alternator. Okay, so that's one thing you need to know. Now let me talk about alternating series remainder. Okay, so suppose you have an alternating series, right, that satisfies the conditions of the alternating series test. And in theory, the series has a sum. We're not going to be able to find it, right? So the series has a sum. In theory, is S. Okay, so the error, which would be your sum that you can't find, minus whatever partial sum you have, that error is bound by the first chopped off term, okay? By chopped off term, I mean that you'd have to get whatever sum you have, you'd have to get the term that was missing. So like, in other words, let's say you had S minus S4, right? So let's say you had the fourth partial sum. Well, that sum, okay, the difference, the error in that sum would be less than or equal to the fifth term. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at an example. Okay. So copy down this example, then come back. So we want to approximate this sum by using the first 6 terms. So in other words, we want to do S1, right? S2, S3, S4, S5, S6. Okay, so figure this out. Remember, this is A1 plus A2, yada, yada, yada. Go figure that out first and then come back to the video. All right, so do those computations. And what the error bound is here is the first term you're missing. So S minus S6 is the error. Now on the AP exam, you can either write the word error or you can write S minus S6 is less than or equal to, okay, the first term that we would chop off, right? So S minus S6 is less than or equal to 1 over 7 factorial, which is 1 over 50, 40. Okay, so what this means for us is our true sum, the actual sum. We would take our estimated sum and we would subtract our error, which you can use a calculator to do if you wish. Our true sum, which we're not going to figure out, okay, but our true sum must be bound between $455 over 720 minus 1 over 5040 and 455 over 720 plus 1 over 5040. And that is error bound. Okay, how are they likely to ask this question on the AP exam? Well, they could just ask it like this. All right, something else they love to do is they love to ask you to approximate a sum with an error less than something. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, guys, so copy down this problem. Approximate the sum of the alternating series with an error less than 0.2. So what you would do is you would look at your terms, A1, A2, A3, all right, A4, A5, right, A6. You're going to find the first term. Here's your goal. Find the first term that is less than 0.2. All right. So if we get these answers, now you can do these out yourself. This is 1. This is negative 0.5. This is 1/3. This is negative 1/4. This is positive 0.2. And then this one comes out to be 1/6. So it ends up that 1/6 is the first term that is less than 0.2. So that means that when you go to get the sum with this error will be the fifth partial sum. So you would have to add the first 5 terms together, and you guys could just use a calculator to do that. So this sum is bounded by that error. That's typically how they ask the question on the AP exam. All right, so you have to write out the terms of the sequence, not the sequence of partial sums, but you just have to write out A1, A2, etc. until you find the first one that is within that error. Okay? All right, guys. See you in class. Thank you.